afternoon, TNT Super Fantastic Family. Today is Friday, March 1, 2019. Yours truly, Raymond 98 here, along with.
Good morning, TNT. It is Friday, 1st of March. Start another month. But the way things are looking, we will not get out of this one. That's what we're looking forward to. Let's get this party started. Ray, can you look at that text I just sent you real quick?
Yep. Just responded to it.
Oh. So.
All good.
I'll tell you guys right now then, I want to make sure Ray knew first that regardless, well, I'm not going to say regardless of what happens. Suppose there's no internet. A whole lot of noise, Ray. A whole lot of noise.
Okay.
I'm trying to wait for some of this noise to go away, you guys. So I'll tell you something.
How about now? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, that should do it.
There you go. That did it. That'll do it. All right, guys. So I'm just going to start with regardless. I'm not going to say regardless. Unless there's an RV, unless there's an actual RV that has occurred, and we need to talk to you, explain things, do everything else, we will not be doing a call on Monday. So I'm going to tell you that right now. That is, and we don't have to talk about it on this call. So I want to make that clear first. But that is my daughter's death day, and I don't do anything on that day. So I'm be with my family, and I'm not doing a call on Monday. So it's not for any other reason other than that. So everybody knows that. Okay. So the other thing that I am doing, because it's the month of March, and the first part of the month, me and my family have to go through that on the 4th and the 10th, because that's our burial day. But at the end of March, it's actually my birthday on the 28th. I am going to be 60 years old. I know I only look 40, 45, something like that, but I will be 60. I will be having a party at the club, same place we all met last time, and it will be open to the first 100 people that get there, because it only holds 140, 150. So anybody wants to, plans to, needs to, March 28th. By that time, the RV will be over. We'll all be millionaires, billionaires, doing your own thing. But if you want to, well, Calvin's telling me I can't have no party for some reason. But anyway, I'm planning to have no 60th birthday party. All right, on with the news. Okay, Ray, did we put out a blast? Yep, I know you did.
Oh,
Let's talk about it.
We did some blasting this time, some text messaging. Not only yesterday, but this morning. So we'll start with yesterday's update. Some U.S. banks are seeing rates on the back screen, but we're being informed that they are not the final rates. Iraqi TV news broadcasted a spokesperson stating that a complete seated government will be announced no later than March 17, 2019. Prime Minister Mahdi reportedly announced on Iraqi TV that several ministers of his cabinet will be replaced due to their suspicious background. 2 reputable sources have reported to us that 35 dinar is equivalent to $100 U.S. in country only. We await more detailed information regarding this process. Also, it was being reported to us that consumer market prices for goods and services are being or scheduled to be adjusted due to rate changes. It is anticipated that fields, aka coins, will be effective with the new pricing structure in addition to the lower dinars that have been slowly trickling into circulation. And that was Thursday's last updates. And early this morning, and some of you didn't get a notice because it was too early to put out an email, text message. But Friday morning update, Iraqi TV is broadcasting a spokesperson, yet again, stating that the government is awarding land plots to the citizens. And also, the British Prime Minister was on Iraqi TV shaking hands with Iraqi personnel and announcing that direct flights from Kurdistan to the United Kingdom were now available. Those were the updates. Let's rock and roll.
All right. Well, that's good news right there. So, guys, what I was concerned about was first that we did get verification of the 35 dinar for $100, and we talked about it on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Anyway, we talked about it, and just like I told you guys before, that our sources, our people have put out news 2 days and sometime a week before we actually see it, or that they were putting out the lower dinars and changing the card and the rates, starting at the top and letting it trickle down, and sometimes it takes a couple of days to get down to the street level where everybody can see it. And we've used those examples over and over again, or I have, where, you know, it's raining in California, somebody saying you'll call somebody in L.A. and they say it's 90 degrees. I don't know what they're talking about. But it's raining in Sacramento, so it's still raining in California. Same thing, the fields that were being passed out, or the lower dinars being passed out, they're being passed out in Kurdistan because we always get the information out of Kurdistan first. And the rate had changed on their cards, and sooner or later it got to actually Baghdad because our other guy who owns the shop and everything tells us what's on TV is actually in Baghdad. And that's why we hear two things, and it takes a while for them to catch up because he's at the street level, they're at the government level in the parliament. So things come at different paces. But the fact of the matter is we finally did get it. It's at the street level. We know right now from talking to him yesterday that they are adjusting prices in the market. On TV, they are telling them that the fields are coming, or Dinar, so we are just waiting. They still expected us to see it. The banks have rates. We got rates today. I always let Ray do the rates. So, Ray, what did we get flashing right now?
Okay, 1 second. I didn't have those up in front of me, but let's see. The rates are, or were, because $4.43 to $6.73. So they're flashing and moving up and down. That's just on the dinar.
Just from the dinar. That's as of this morning. So Wednesday, I told you it was sitting there on administrative hold. It wasn't doing anything. Today, it's flashing back and forth, moving up and down, so we'll see what happens. When's the best time for this to happen? I'm not going to tell you guys until CIA asks me, because I don't want to take away her thunder, because I know she's going to ask me. What's the best day? I know she's going to ask me. So let's just get to the Q&A then. You ready?
Oh, yes. Okay. Q&A.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the live Q&A when you said Q&A. Okay, Lena is the first one up. Lena says, I have visited the WTO 2019 website and find that Iraq is not a member of the WTO. Do you think this will keep Iraq from internationally revaluing their currency?
I do not think it will keep Iraq from revaluing their currency. You know, I don't know when their next meeting is to see when they go in as full-fledged members. I think there are observers now, is what Tish sent me after the call the other day. But it's not going to affect the RV itself, or they wouldn't have already changed the rate in country.
Jim in KC says, on Wednesday's call, you mentioned trying to negotiate an additional 25 or 50 cents on currency remaining beyond what might be allowed to exchange at the contract rate. I am curious why you didn't say you'd negotiate for additional dollars on that non-contract rate for the dinar. wouldn't the negotiation differ according to the currency? For example, 5 cents to 10 cents on the rupiah, and 25 cents to 50 cents on the dong, and dollars for the dinar.
Very good question, and it's up to you as an individual. Now, yeah, the difference on the dong and the rupiah, you're probably not going to get a dollar difference. You may on a dinar, knowing that, hey, it's 443, but I know in the next 10 days it's going to be at least 553, 653 when the market goes up. He may say, well, you know what? Come back when that happens. So we don't have to negotiate that dollar. I can just give it to you. But if you want to negotiate, and I say because less than a dollar sometimes makes a world of a difference depending on how much you have. 25 cents, 50 cents could equal another $500,000. But it's up to you guys when you're negotiating what you want to try and get out of it. And it depends on when you go in there. You know, wait. If you want another dollar and you can't get it there, then say, hey, I need to reschedule my appointment because I need to watch the Forex for a minute and get my next dollar. Or if I'm not negotiating on the rates, what I can always negotiate on is what? The fees and the interest rate. Mm-hmm. Always negotiate on that. And maybe I need a little bit more if you're not going to give me that so I can recoup my money. Maybe I need to get guaranteed into a certain project or something. We do that. Everything's open to negotiation. So don't restrict yourself just because I said a dollar. You go for what you know, what you feel comfortable negotiating for. Okay. Right.
And here's another plug. You guys, some of you probably remember seeing the television commercial about some attorney, and whenever there's an accident or whatever, you say that attorney's name and the insurance companies automatically give you some respect. So while you're negotiating, it might not hurt to say, I know Ray and Tony. And that might help too. Just saying. But anyway, moving right along.
Wait a minute. Let me clarify that. If y'all going to go into a bank and do that, you better say, I know Ray. Don't say you know Tony.
You never know. That might help. Yeah, he's going to say, I know Ray and Tony. The next person, oh, these people know some stuff. We better treat them right. They'll know if we throw them a curveball. But,
okay.
Anyway.
Wait a minute. Let me see. Did the recording go through? Did we get started? Because some people said they're 17 minutes behind and they didn't get the beginning. Okay. Well, we didn't start right at 10, just so you guys know, whoever's listening now. And we had the recording, so you guys can go back and play it. Okay, go ahead, Ray.
Okay. Continuing with Jim and KC, it says, besides the 50% account set aside for taxes, what percentage will you set aside for investment? How much for deposit interest and how much for living and spending?
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, go ahead, Ray. Go ahead.
Well, for me, it's very easy. Deposit, interest, investment, all that goes into one basket. And I may use different sources, but it's all one category. And that is going to determine what I'm going to have to spend and live off of, because I'm not going to spend any of the principal. I'm going to live off the interest. So I don't have a section for spending. It's just whatever the monthly interest is, that's my spending for living in lifestyle living. And you, sir?
So this is what I do. I set 50% aside, and I'm getting the interest off of that 50%. So I can use that as my income easily. I got the rest of my money. I'm going out and make all my dreams come true. Everything that I can afford to do. Houses, cars, boats, planes, whatever it is that you want to do. I'm taking the rest of that money and I'm putting it in my investment projects, and I'm taking that interest and I'm rebuilding back to my original dollar amount. Now, I've already bought everything I need. I'm living off my interest on my 50% that's waiting for my taxes because I'm still being me. And now when I get back to my real number, I started with $10 million. I'm back at $10 million. The interest from that and the investments that I'll make is my living money. My money's money, not my money. I'm never going to use my money, and I'm going to continue to let it grow. At some point in your life, let me tell you like this, and you guys are going to understand this too. When I was doing network marketing, and, you know, this guy was on the stage. His name was Paul Overson. I don't know if you guys know him. Anyway, Paul was on the stage. I started, and he was like, man, I don't know how you guys live on less than $1 million a month. I mean, I just don't understand how you living like that. And, of course, we looking at this thing like, you asshole. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I got to that point where I couldn't live on less than $10,000 a month. Then I couldn't live on less than $15,000 a month. And then I couldn't live on less than $30,000 a month. I mean, I had to have that to live. And that's what you will do with this. You'll start out whatever it is and then learn to live from that point, but still just let it be your money's money. Don't ever touch your money and you'll have money forever. Your money's money. Rob Gronkowski, he plays for the guys that I really don't like, the New England guys, you guys know. But anyway, he's been playing an NFL player all this time, and he's never spent a dime of his money. He tells everybody, I never will spend that money. I'll spend my endorsement money or this money, but I'm never spending that money because that's my lifeline. And that's what you guys got to realize. And I don't care if it's, 100,000 really ain't no money. Okay? If you guys don't know that, you're going to know it real quick. There really ain't no money. And it's going to be gone, you know. So anybody got $1 million, let's start there. $1 million or more and do the right thing with it. You will make what you're making now. You can still make $5,000 a month off that and let it go. Put it in the right project, and then it turns to $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, and that's what you live on. It still change your life, still change your lifestyle, but it lets you enjoy life and knowing that it's going to be there forever. So that's how I would do it. Okay, Ray?
Okay. Let's see. Samadhi says, of course, Samadhi has calculated the $2.86 rate based on the 35 dinar at $100 US. So they're asking, is that live in Iraq, or could it just be on their cards and not be live?
Well, the fact that it's on their cards now, and not one person is seeing it, but everybody is seeing it. If they're purchasing dollars like they do, that's the rate that they're using, because he said it costs 35 dinar to get $100 US. And as of yesterday, this morning, in the marketplace, they are adjusting all of their prices to the new rate. I would call that live in Iraq.
Okay. At last, 51 says, would you please help me understand the significance of Iraq giving away land plots to citizens and British flights to Iraq as to what it has on what we are waiting for? I guess, okay.
Yes. The significance is zero. It's just news. It's just the country growing. It's just letting you know that they're adjusting and doing things. It has absolutely nothing to do with the RV. Okay?
Charlie, okay. That's another one about the 286 being live in country. So, okay. We'll go to the next one. Light first. Is this revaluation, the currency, the currency will also be credit not only for oil but also for gold and other minerals? And will it put us in the gold and asset base? Okay.
Okay, you're going to have to read that again.
Okay. I'm going to read it as is, and maybe you might can replace it with the words you need to make it. Is
Okay.
this revaluation, the currency will also be credits not only for oil but also for gold and other minerals, and will put us in gold and asset base.
Okay. All right, I got it this time. All right. So he's saying is the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar not just going to be used to purchase barrels of oil like the contract says, but can it be used for gold, silver, and that, and then help us with our Basel III requirement of asset base? That's what I hear you saying. Well, that's what I hear him asking. Okay. All right. So I'm supposed our deal with Iraq is to use it to buy barrels of oil. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's how we're supposed to be repaid with the dinar. Now, could China, Germany, France, somebody else say, hey, I want to sell you gold or silver or anything else, and I want you to pay me in dinar, and the U.S. chooses to pay them in dinar? Absolutely. Because it's a viable currency then, it's international, and it can be used to pay out anybody who agrees to accept it. So if we wanted to buy more gold and silver from another country, yes, they could do that.
Okay, GLE Mass says, when does Texas say the RV will happen? What that?
Oh my God! Now we listening to Texas? I mean, really? Oh my God! Wait a minute.
Okay.
Unless you really know something. Go ahead.
Okay. We'll move on. I was moving on.
Yeah, because if they really knew what they were talking about, I think they would have been more specific. And I might have even answered it. Let me see. I probably wouldn't have, but there's always a possibility. So, well, let me get this. We're not talking about the server that's in Texas or getting information from them, but if you were talking about some people in Texas, then I probably wouldn't say it because I probably already going to say it too much anyway. All right, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
let's move on. Okay, Massman says, on Wednesday's call, Tony walked through his exchange, which was great. I have some questions related to that first meeting with the wealth manager. Okay, number one, is there a minimum amount you must have for the bank to agree to give you the 10%? And also, is it limited to a specific bank or the big 4 or 5 that we've discussed?
Okay. I don't know what the amount is that they have set up, and I'm sure they're not going to tell me. I mean, they may tell me personally, but they're not going to give out guidelines for if you have this amount, expect this interest rate. The mere fact that I have told you they're training them to go up to 10%, I would ask for 10% because I know that's what you can go up to. And let them explain why they can't give you 10% if they can't give it to you. But, you know, closed mouth don't get fed. So remember that. And, guys, there are no stupid questions. None. During the exchange process or any other process, there are no stupid questions. Just ask the question so you can get the answer. I don't think they're going to give you 10% on $100,000 because nobody else would either. So let's be reasonable and smart about it at the same time. Or you're just going to get a no. And you know the banking system, you know the current interest rates. So don't look for them to be outlandish. But people with money are going to get more money because they're going to get the 10%. If you got $10 million or $100 million, then you're probably going to get 10% and make $1 million a year in interest or $10 million a year in interest and live off your interest. So, okay. What was the other part about the interest rate and what else?
Is it limited to a specific bank or the big 4 or 5?
Okay. So, no, banks are going to be in competition. I don't know what every other bank has been taught, but out of the big 5, I know at least two of them are being taught the high interest rate, the perks. I can get you this and that. Do everything they can to make sure that money doesn't walk out of that office once it comes in there. That's their goal, to get you to give them that money right then. They don't want a second appointment, third appointment. They don't want you to go to this bank and that bank and see who's competitive. They want to make you an offer that's so good that it's one time right now that you say, let me take this. So that's what you go in there looking for. I don't want to do this or that, so give me your very best so I know either we have a deal or we don't. And don't be afraid to talk. Let them know. Say, Ray told me, remember that. Ray told me. That's what you said. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It just might work for them, too.
All right.
Number 2, will that savings account or IMF investment be in the name of a trust at that time, or will that come later? You mentioned a savings account the other day? But anyway.
No, I didn't. But, guys, that's stuff you're going to have to ask when you're setting it up. If your trust is in the investment or you are in the investment, whoever signed up, but it's going to be based off of your account that's putting the money in there, is what I would think.
Now, most of you are going to be doing investments in your own personal name because you won't have the entities created yet. So when you do that, make sure that you have the provision that you can assign that investment to someone else, knowing that you're going to be creating a trust. So that particular investment, make sure that it has an assignable feature to it, if possible, so that you can assign it the ownership to something else, knowing that you plan on coming back later with a trust created or some other entity, but you want it to take over that investment account that you may have started 30 days prior. Nothing else, just make sure you write down the word assign and make sure that you can include that if they'll allow you to. Assign it to someone else so you can keep that investment going, but just in the name of another entity. Okay, and this last one says, when you reference putting your investment with the IMF, is that the same thing as the humanitarian projects discussed earlier? Yes. It's also assuming that the Tier 1 trading platform is a completely different animal, since most of us won't qualify for that and need to be invited. Well, I'll add this. For the IMF thing, the committee person told me that you need to be invited for that too. But I think when we first introduced it, we didn't have an understanding that that was by invitation for the the IMF projects. But that was the last I was told, about a week and a half, not quite 2 weeks ago, that was invitation as well. So that remains to be seen. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah. So you're going to want to ask your wealth manager, private banker, your financial advisor, if they are aware of those projects and can they get you involved with that. That's what you're going to have to do for them to go out and do the research and get in there. Now, hopefully after the RV, we will have the information ourselves that we can tell you what types of projects, where it's at, so then you can go to your wealth manager and say, this is what I'm looking for. Because they want people to get involved in it. They need the money. So it's not really a restriction, but they know they have to have qualified investors. So everybody's not going to get in that. You're right. The IMF projects are different from being on a platform. Guys, IMF projects pay weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. They play, up to 10% a month, week, so it's different. But they're more, the projects are going to be more secure than the platform. The platform is high risk, high return. So on platforms, you are literally gambling at the highest rates ever, but you're getting it. And things aren't really guaranteed. Now, IMF projects go through banks, You'll be guaranteed, probably insured, everything else. Every platform is not like that. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, platforms are one of the highest con games. Okay? I didn't really want to say that. I was trying to think of another way to tell you. It's one of the highest con games among the rich. And especially here in the U.S., where everything has to be documented overseas. You have to do your homework. You have to know your people, who you're getting involved with. I'm going to tell you this so you understand. I flew down to L.A. to meet with some guys one time. And I got there, and, you know, we went up to the penthouse in L.A., and he was showing us this operation. And they got computers here, computers there. They got all these screens out, everything else. I think I told you guys the story one time before. And this guy was trying to get us to invest in all this projects and things. And, you know, he brings out pictures of his family and gives us a history. And, you know, his uncle was a senator. His grandfather was the governor. His this, that, and all his family, which was all true. And it all sounded good, and we're going to make all this money. And I was very, very fortunate, and I'm telling you that, because the woman, his secretary, administrator that was there, she pulled me aside for whatever reason. But she pulled me aside, we're going through this, and she said, don't do it. Because she said, I like you, and I'm just telling you, don't do it. It's a con game. And that's the only reason, because everything else looked good. I mean, it looked good. So we did find out afterwards that it was a con game. But his family was still his family. He just happened to be the black sheep of the family. That's all. But it was so professional and done, and he had the documents and everything else. So you really have to be careful even then. You guys have to be careful, period, because you're new millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires. You don't know how this industry works. You don't know how a lot of it, and people are going to know that. They're going to know you don't know contracts, you don't know liens, you don't know interest rates, you don't know structures, because you're all new to it. And trust me, they are going to try to take advantage of you, because it's just true. Even unfortunately, attorneys are going to try and take advantage of you, because it's true. Managers are going to try and take advantage of you, and especially if they know you didn't work for this money, it just fell out the sky, then they're going to have no guilt at all in charging you the highest rates, charging you fees, everything else. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to tell you reality. And here's an example that all of you can look at. I know everybody knows R. Kelly is. Even white people know who R. Kelly is, right? So all the news, surviving R. Kelly, everything else, with all the bad stuff from R. Kelly, the women, the girls, the kids, all that, you'll see that. Out of all the songs that he made, all the awards that he won, all the accolades and everything else that he's received, how can he not have $100,000 to get out? How is that even possible out of all of his achievements that he didn't have $100,000 to get out? Somebody not named his manager, not named his mom and daddy, not named his closest friends, not named his investment partners, a complete stranger put up the $100,000 to get him out of jail because he didn't have it. All these platinum records have been millions of dollars. Why didn't he have it? Because his manager screwed him because he doesn't know how to read. He simply couldn't read the contract and things he was signing. He gave away every one of his songs, his bank accounts, everything else. As long as they gave him what he wanted, a fur coat here, a car here, a plane ticket there, he was happy. and all of his life is now gone because somebody he trusted took advantage of him. That's the moral of the story. It's not about R. Kelly. It's really about you have a lot of money and don't know what to do with it, and you sit there and you tell your accountant or your banker or whoever, just go ahead and do whatever's right. You know what to do, go ahead and do it. Well, in the end, you're going to pay that price. So be careful who you give power to because they will abuse it. That's not to scare you guys, it's to prepare you guys. Okay, let's go next, Ray.
Okay, let's see. Dwayne says, is it still planned to have 800 numbers for different regions?
Still the plan. As far as we know, we haven't been told any different.
Okay. Shar 35 says, the update says that some banks are able to see the rates on the back screens now. Is this different than the rates on the back screens that has been reported in the last number of years?
Same screens, same rates, doing their thing. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. Sometimes, like I said, let's say they're on administrative hold. Right now, they are actually fluctuating up and down. So we're waiting to see what they do. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they were on administrative hold, which means they weren't doing anything. So there's a little excitement that they have movement in them again. All right?
Okay. Irishman says, I have tried on 3 occasions to donate via Cash.me, which is the Cash app. I've donated prior and it went through. Now it seems it can't. Are other people experiencing the same issues? Yes, several people are experiencing those issues. Just keep trying or find another alternate way. I don't know how to fix that for you guys. I see them when they come through as failed attempts, but I don't know how to tell you how to fix that other than keep trying. That even happened with me with dealing with it. And repeated tries, it went through. Try changing the dollar amount. If it's a smaller amount, increase it. If it's a larger amount, decrease it. Just break it up. I don't know what would be the reason that would cause some of you to have fails on your attempts. But that's the only thing that I have done in the past was just repeatedly attempted it and then it went through. So, okay, Life Talker says, Tony, have we reached or passed the date you were told that the date you told us about last Monday when the notifications went out?
Ray said y'all were going to ask me that question, the CIA would be first.
Oh, okay.
You know they're going to ask. Okay. So there's a good possibility that we could see something throughout the weekend. There's a good possibility that could happen. The 5 days is up because I tell you on Monday and it's Friday. So something could happen after close today. It's after close today or after banks close tomorrow are 2 good possibilities for something to happen. Now, they could not have or could be waiting to actually do the full dollar amount before they let out the fields and coins over there, or it might be right after they let out the fields and coins. So, but this is the thing about it. Everybody is quiet right at this moment. We tried to get to all our banks. All we got was the fluctuation of the rates. No other information, anticipation, no high alerts, low alerts, nothing. A bunch of, I can't talk about it. Now, I'm thinking, I can't talk about it, but Monday you called me talking about it. I didn't even call you. You called me and said, hey, this is what's going on. And today you say, I can't talk about it. So I take that as it's closer than it is farther away. Now, I'm going to say that to you guys. We see what's going on in Iraq, and we're at 286. trying to just get to 443, which isn't that far off. It could go at any time. There's a contractor over there who is of two beliefs, and he's a pretty big contractor too. So I got to go both ways. He thinks it still doesn't happen until they announce the ministers, which supposedly the ministers are done, all agreed. Supposed to be announced the second session of Parliament. That's on Monday. And he still thinks somebody is telling them it's the 20th of March when the whole thing will be announced. Now, that's just one guy. Everybody else is saying this could happen any minute, any second, but I'm just giving you guys the information. I don't think the bank, like I told you guys on Wednesday, puts it on administrative hold for a month before it happens. Even though the administrative hold has been removed and is now blinking, it's more likely to happen this weekend with all the information we have and the fact that we know and they know that and I'll just call it reinstatement, has occurred in Iraq. At least before they were at, I'm just trying to think, Saddam Hussein had it at 222 at one time, or maybe even 286 right where it is right now. I have to go back and look. It was 2-something is what he had the evaluation at. So this could be the reinstatement, and then as it releases international, it'll be the revaluation. Okay. Hopefully that's confusing enough for everybody. What's next, Ray?
Sunstar. Do you expect to see the new rate on Forex within the next 14 days?
Absolutely. I do.
Correct me if I am wrong. Are contractors in Iraq going to be paid the new rate starting early next week?
You remember in the beginning of the month, they were told to prepare for that. And since we made it through the month, I would think they're preparing for it right now. We haven't been told that by any of our contractors, where last month they actually told us they were told to prepare to do their paychecks at the new level. They have not come back and said they got that same memo again. But I would think, based on the fact that the rate has actually changed over there, they're going to have to do it.
Okay. Jim Senior, 1029, says, if this event is tax-free, does that status apply to all, it should be all of the currencies or just the dinar? All.
There you go.
Okay.
We were told all during this period, yes.
Right. Nine Ball says, Tony, did you say the IMF investment guarantees your principal will not be lost?
You have some guarantees going through the bank. On platforms, you don't.
Okay. Annie Oakley says, we gave the rate on the dinar. Do we know the rates on the dong and zim? We have not had any reports this morning on those rates flashing or doing anything. It was just on the dinar for the moment being. And that takes us to the live caller section now. First one on is 360 area code.
Wow. Good morning, gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
That didn't come out right, did it? Good afternoon.
No, it was fine.
Yeah, that was fine. Good morning, good afternoon. Sure.
Yeah, okay, good. Hey, I got cut off the other day, but I didn't have a chance to thank you, so I'll do that first. And I think that, Tony, your advice time and time again has reared its head to be sage and well-focused, and I think that's certainly given me a lot of peace of mind when it came to thinking about what was going on with this investment and how it was playing out. I just, from a curiosity standpoint, if you had to pick a place in the Mideast to go visit, to take your family and go there and feel safe doing it, where would it be?
In the Middle East, in Mideast?
Yeah, the Middle East. In other words, I mean, obviously this investment will have a huge effects upon us and so forth. And at some time, I'd like to go to the Mideast to see it if it were prudent and if it were safe in order to do that.
Well, listen, the only place I planned on going was to Dubai over the period, okay? I've been invited to Iraq. I've been invited to Kurdistan by Barzani, by his family, to come over, which I would love to do, just to go and do it. But I'm really looking forward to, a guy called me last night. I was driving down the street, and he invited me to Thailand and said, hey, I want to do something for you in Thailand, in a program. And he explained to me a little bit about his life, his wife, and how they adopted this little girl. But that's something I'm really looking forward to, going to do that. I don't know where you want to go. Now, if I was a single man, living that dream life with these millions and billions, I'd be in Brazil. Just so you single guys know, that's the spot you want to be. But okay.
Just in case there was curiosity. Hey, did you see the article where Mahdi is replacing a lot of his ministers because they're suspicious? I think it's how it was.
Yeah, but they were the same crooks that they put in the beginning. They were just trying to get it done, so it would be done. And now they have to go back as people complain and replace them. But it's not going to affect us at all.
Sweet. Okay, I'll let whoever's next step in. Gentlemen, have a great day, and look forward to that call. And
all right,
Tony,
thank you, sir.
On your day of reflection, I lost my oldest daughter recently, and when these kinds of things happen in our lives, they are of such consequence that we can't ignore the significance of it, and so I sympathize and empathize and all the eyes as you can, knowing that none of it would ever be enough or a way to ease the thoughts that sometimes are there. So all the best to you on that day, and that ought to be a day to honor you for honoring her. So just a thought.
All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
And I'm sorry for your loss also. Thank you.
Yes. All right, 951, you are on.
Good afternoon, good morning, gentlemen.
Greetings.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. Hey, Tony, appreciate last Wednesdays. You gave us some really good ideas when I sit down and talk to these people. As far as breakdown for accounts, are you going to have one separate bank account for the Dinar, one for the Dong, one for the Zim, or how are you going to separate those out, please?
I'm just separating my Dinar. And again, guys, I'm doing it because somebody at the Treasury told me to do it that way. Because I would have just put it all in one basket and kept going. But they said separate the Dinar from the rest of the currencies to make sure if they are taxed, they wouldn't be taxed together or at a same rate. Now, that was before, everybody started telling us that none of them are going to be taxed. So, well, we always heard that, but he said they are. You want to separate those because the Dinar was coming back, revaluation. It will be different from currencies that are live currencies already. The rupiah, the dong, and that, and they're already on Forex. So they could theoretically tax those because they fall under the exchange rules, where the Dinar would be a new one going through something different where he was sure it wasn't going to be taxed. And that's why I say you might want to separate those. All right.
Separate, okay. All right, so I'll just have one for the Dinar and then the rest for the Dong and the Zim and be done with it then. So, okay, that's the only question. I know that you're pretty excited on Monday and Wednesday. I think you still are, either today or this weekend, that we can get this party going. And I do appreciate the comments about R. Kelly and IMF. That really, slowed me down regarding IMF. You really have to know what you're doing, or you could lose it, and no one else is going to watch out for you. So I do appreciate that thought process. That's written down, and I'm going to be very careful what I do on that. But with that, I appreciate it very much. Have a good weekend, and hopefully we'll get some 800 numbers, and I'll let the next caller come on in then. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
865, you are on.
Okay, I appreciate all of the information, and happy Friday here. And Tony, I appreciate your further clarification on the answer to that question of the best time for those who may not have caught it, because you always kind of share that here. And just for further clarification, does it really matter that you have to wait until the banks in Hawaii close, or do you always just go with the time frame of Eastern time for bank closings?
I go with the Eastern time because I know at the highest level that's the information they were giving out. Okay.
Okay.
And that time frame that I always give you guys. Bank people seem to think it won't happen until Hawaii closes, or at least the West Coast closes, because they don't think they would do it in the middle of their operations or their day.
Mm-hmm. So at that point, we've got a little bit of a spread there, if you will, from the bank closing time Eastern time versus bank closing time Hawaii time, but that's a very small window, and we can deal with that given the amount of time that we have been waiting anyway. So appreciate your clarifications. I also appreciate your kind of coming back throughout the call, because when your opening comment of we will not get out of this month, I can imagine the number of hearts dropping going, but March has 31 days, and, that sort of thing of another 31 days, but then clarifying we will be out, by your birthday and that sort of thing. So I appreciate all your clarifications on that, especially given that you're narrowing it down that it could be coming up on this weekend. Correct? I haven't misread you?
Yes. All of that is correct. I don't think we can, given the amount of information that's already out. And the fact that, 2 days ago, the 35s, the ones that they can't leave that out there for another month and not think everybody in the world is not going to find out. Because it's going to hit news. It hit us. It's going to hit hedge funds. It's going to hit investors. And they're going to say, all right, they already went halfway, so it's actually happening. And everybody's going to dive in, and they just can't let that happen. Because I'm going to call everybody who thought it wasn't going to happen and say, this is what just happened. Then they're going to say, okay, now I'm in. If that just happened in the country, now I'm in. Because I know it's going to be international.
Mm-hmm. Given all of this information, how would you actually be describing the demeanor of your info providers, those in Iraq as well as the ones here in the U.S.? Are they contained exuberance, or are they to the point of, I'll believe it when I see it? How are they in comparison to like the last time several years back when we were right at this stage? How would you compare them?
Okay. So first you have to define contained exuberance for everybody, because they don't know what it is. Contained exuberance, okay.
Yeah, how do you spell that?
Yes. Yes. They are maintaining their excitement.
All right, they're jumping out of their skin that they are so excited that this is about ready to happen. Ready to explode. They're contained exuberance.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes. They are, but they are excited because they've been sending messages, especially the bank people. But they told us we were gonna have a busy week.
So
bank people. Yeah, and it's Friday. I'm saying okay. Again, because when they call you, it's different from when you call them and ask. They're just picking up the phone calling you. Guess what? then okay, then you're a little excited, I guess, you know. As far as over there, they're not excited because they've been telling us it was there, and they're more concerned with, we don't know why you don't see it yet. Because life is changing over here for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
At the top level now, they're at the street level.
Mm-hmm.
Because they haven't. So they're actually going through it. So they're a little less excited than they should be more excited than we are for themselves. But every time we talk to them, it's done. It's done. I don't know why you're not seeing it, but it's done. It's happening. So we'll
Good
see.
enough. Well, again, appreciate all of these little nuggets, and who knows, this may well turn out to be the last pre-RV call that you guys have to do, because the next one may well be you're giving us the go-ahead sign that it's time, it's here, all of those good things, and 10 days from whenever that is, of course, that's when our TNT Super Fantastic or Pay It Forward project will be. Obviously, at this point, it's going to be in March, but, hey, we're marching onward and upward. Let's go for it. We appreciate it.
Let's do it.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Have a great one. And Tony, our best wishes and thoughts will be with you on the 4th and the like, and also condolences to 360 on the loss of his daughter as well. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 610 area code. You are next.
Hey, good afternoon, Ray, and good morning, Tony. It's G-Man in PA.
G-Man.
How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing super fantastic, Tony, and it's another Dynamite Day here in the USA, ladies and gentlemen. It's a new day and a new month, and that means there's a new bill that needs to be paid. For all of you who are new to the call and all of you who didn't know, all these calls and all the means of communication that Ray and Tony use to keep us informed need to be paid for. And in order to keep this information superstation on the air, donations are needed. You can help by going to www.TNTSUPERFANTASTIC.com, clicking on that red donate button, and when you do, the name and address will come up to where you can send your check or money order made payable to Raymond Renfrow, P.O. Box 1748, Elm City, that's just like the tree, Elm City, North Carolina, 27822. And for those of you who would like to donate electronically, the Cash App is available on the donation page. And if you're already familiar with and utilizing the Cash App, you can go to $TNT SuperFantastic, and you'll be able to make your donation electronically. And when you are making your donations, ladies and gentlemen, please include your phone number. Ray is tracking our donations, and that makes it easier for him to keep his record. Again, thank you, Ray and Tony, for all that you continue to do for us out here in the currency community. Thank you to those 13 task force members still out there making sure that the bankers and meeting facilities will be available for us post-RV so we can get all the banking information. And then on behalf of Tony and on behalf of Ray, thank you to all of you out there who have sent donations in the past, those of you who will send in your donation today and in the near future. Your donations are needed and very much appreciated. Thank you very, very much. And to both of your families, Ray and Tony, thank you for your families for sharing you with us. And I'll close out with Vegas, Vegas, Vegas. Verification, negotiation, diversification, protect your principles, and rally, 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 so I can come join you and enjoy some of that good home-style North Carolina barbecue. Make it a dynamite weekend.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, Tony, you're in the doghouse, but I'm going to get you out.
Thank you, I appreciate it, brother.
Because LKRKL, remember the last call, said they were going to be stuck at work today and wanted me to acknowledge their birthday. And I said, well, sure, as long as Tony reminds me. And
well, I'm pretty sure Tony said that ain't gonna happen.
but not only do we have LKRKL celebrating a birthday today, but also Carol J. And I think there's some other members celebrating birthdays today, but those are the only two that are fresh in my mind. So for LKRKL and Carol J., we at least want to acknowledge their birthday and say happy birthday to you.
Okay.
I wanna wish you a happy birthday. I wanna help you celebrate. I wanna wish you lots of presents. I wanna help you eat your cake. If you party in the island way, you'll be jamming all night till the light of day. Your birthday is your day to shine. Another year and you'll be looking fine. So have a no worries, don't you hesitate. It's time to party, time to celebrate. It's time to celebrate. Yeah.
Okay. 951 area code, you are on.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. And a fabulous morning it is. So thank you for being here. And you guys do.
Yes, sir.
I have a couple of questions for you. One is, anyway, regarding trusts, and I understand that and I'm still learning about this stuff and everything, but with trusts, I guess you have a proprietor, is that right? And then you have some trustees?
Well, I never heard it as a proprietor, but that's something you have a grantor, creator, and then you have trustees.
Oh, okay. Is there such a thing as a trust without trustees?
I never heard of it.
Okay. All right. And then the other one is, I keep reading different articles on Dinar recaps, I think it is. And I haven't heard you guys say anything about it, so I just wanted to hear your take on this or whatever. But anyway, they keep saying that the ZIM funds are supposed to be used solely for humanitarian funds. That just doesn't sound right to me, how they can control your money that way.
Well, you know what? That's good. That doesn't even make sense. Well, that just doesn't make sense. I was going to say something else. But anyway, yeah, how are they going to tell you that how you're supposed to spend your money? Now, if you want the project money, then okay, on certain humanitarian projects, and that's not 100% of it even there.
Yeah.
So other than that, it bothers me people just put out stuff that doesn't even make good common sense. Like, you can't spend your paycheck unless you go buy this. It's the only way you can spend your paycheck. Or you invested your whole life and now you can't spend the money unless you get our roads fixed. I mean, what country do they think they live in or where? And people just put out nonsense. Why would somebody do it? Why would you even go spend your money to buy Zim notes to go exchange it for somebody to tell you what you have to do with the money? I mean, who does that make sense to?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So.
Right.
That was my line of questioning. I mean, my line of thought, too, and everything. I said that just doesn't make sense. So, anyway, I thank you for answering that. And like I said, thank you for all you guys do. So, thanks again.
All right, thank you, sir.
347 area code, you are on. 347 area code? 533?
He sleep. Don't you hear him
He
snoring?
fell asleep. Okay, wasn't sure if that's what I was. I wasn't sure if that was a train or something. I was just making sure. Okay, 201. You are on. 201 area code. You're on.
Yes, hi, that's me.
Hey, me.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. It's so good to talk to you guys. I didn't know how to talk to you before. Anyway, I appreciate all you guys do for us, and I just wanted to find out, Tony, if it doesn't happen this month, do you think it will happen at all this year?
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely, positively believe it will happen this year, and more likely this month with everything that's happening this week. I mean, I can absolutely see it happening. If it wasn't going to, guys, they wouldn't have done the rate. Okay, change. They wouldn't have put out the tariffs if it wasn't going to, because who can afford to pay them? They wouldn't have put on the document at the borders that you can't bring in more than 10 dinar, can't take out more than 5 dinar, or vice versa. And what is 5 and 10 dinar if they don't change the rate? That's less than a penny. So why would you take all the time, document all that, and put it up at the border if the rate wasn't going to change and it wasn't going to apply to somebody? They wouldn't constantly be saying we're international, because they say that all the time, or they want to deal with the international community if they weren't going to be international. And we know the money that they have been offered to do the reconstruction, they can't get it until they are. And all the projects were supposed to start today. It's in March 1. They're going to start the reconstruction projects. They can't do that if they don't have the money. Right?
Okay.
So, yes.
Well, we've
absolutely believe it.
We've been in this so long, and our hopes are always up and down. So I don't know. I'm optimistic, but yet I feel let down. I'm sure we all do, but it's tough.
It is tough, and it's been hard, and it's been 10 years. So when somebody says to you, when you get all this money, you just won the lottery, or you didn't work for it, you look them dead in their eye and say, I sweat blood and tears for this, and I cried many a night when it didn't happen. So, yes, I did work for it. Okay?
That's so true for a lot of people. All right, thank you very much, Tony. And I just wanted to say sorry about your family, and, good luck with everything.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for all you guys do. I appreciate it.
All righty. Bye-bye.
All right, you too. Thank you.
707 area code. You are on.
Well, good morning. Thank you. Ray, I want to compliment you for your very sensible advice regarding people's attempts to form entities into trusts and LLCs and whatever. I think that information you give us is extremely helpful, and I want to thank you. Tony, I want to say very, very truthfully that your method of explaining things makes it very sensible. When you use the term, who does that make sense to? It's really that I think anybody should be able to understand your explanations. I have a question to follow those, but thank you for both for all that you've done for us.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I do have one question that regarding the IMF fund. How does one? Do you have any thoughts on who to contact or who to ask for information? How to help you get information about that project, and how do you go about it once you're in the exchange process?
Okay, this is what we're going to do. We got the information from the committee members. So after the RV happens, there's nothing that we will put out right now. But after the RV happens, we'll put the link up of where you can go and find out what the information is. And then you can take that link and look at it yourself. or you can take it to your wealth manager, your advisor, and say, I want to be involved in this, and let them do the work for you, and go and research the projects and bring them back to you and say, this is what I'm looking for, okay? But we will definitely put it out there. He is telling us they definitely want us involved, but they want us to be qualified investors, not somebody trying to put 100,000 in, 200,000.
Right.
They're going to be looking for people that have the ability to put millions in and get millions back. Okay?
Okay. And will that be put out, for example, I'm not a board member, so I have access, I get access to your updates and all. Is that where it'll appear? Or
we'll put it right there in the form where everybody can see it at.
Oh, great. That is just fantastic. And one other question regarding the IMF fund. Did I understand you to differentiate that from not being a platform? In other words, is the IMF project not a platform?
No, it's not a platform. Platform is going to be something different.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you're actually going to be involved in projects that are humanitarian, that are global projects that are being built. Now, they may take the money in the meantime and put it into certain platforms, but that's through them. Not like you going to a platform yourself.
Right. But then the money they take to put in those platforms, then when your time limit or end of the contract is up, you still have your original amount in your account.
That's it. And it's on a 5-year basis, renewable every 5 years.
Yes. That sounds like a bird's nest underground.
Yes, it does. I would do it 10 times a day if I could. Sign me up again.
I'm sure looking forward to that. So, okay, thank you. That's all I have. And God be with you on Monday. You and your daughter.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
770 area code. You are on.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Thank you so much for all you do.
Hey, good
Hope
morning.
you're having a great day. I think you covered some of my questions already, but Tony, if I could confirm, did you say that the prediction that the 1-to-1 rate for the contracts is supposed to happen at the beginning of February and then supposed to happen at the beginning of March is actually effective because of the rate change to the 35 to 100?
Did I say, the 1-to-1 in Iraq?
Yeah,
it was actually effective because of 35. Oh, yes. For the contractors to get paid. Well, yeah, because the rate just changed, so it has to be.
But
I mean, if it's on the street now, guys, they were supposed to do it they were notified that it was supposed to happen the first part of February, and that they had to change over to the new system to pay their people. So it didn't happen the first week in February. It has happened now, and it's on the street. So they can't pay people the old rate when now all the market prices have changed, and anybody out there on the street, they're buying dollars, at $2.86. How are they going to pay them the old rate?
But you have not gotten confirmation that anybody's been paid at the new rate. You're just, it's common sense. I agree with you, but I'm just.
Yeah, because nobody's been paid in the last 2 days.
Okay.
So when they start paying them out next week, let's see what happens.
All right.
But
great.
Does that make sense? So let's look at it like this. They're saying on the street right now, on television, everywhere over there, it costs them 35 dinar per $100. Per $100.
Yep.
At the old rate, they were getting 1,100 dinar per dollar. So if they pay me at the old rate and pay me $5, and I go back to the street and buy dollars at the new rate, I just made $50,000 off $5. Is that going to happen? No, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And I just threw the $50,000 out there because I didn't actually do the math. But you can do the math, and that's not going to happen.
Okay, so you mentioned. Can I move on to the next question? That makes sense to me.
Yep. Absolutely.
So you mentioned previously that you got one person saying the CBI may wait to see the full cabinet. When is the first session? Is it actually this coming Monday?
It's the 4th. Yes.
Yes.
The first session is on the 4th. And I don't know when the second session, because they said they're going to do it the second session, which could be, same day, next week. I don't know when the second session starts, because the first session has to end for the start. So we'll see.
And are Mahdi and Soleil scheduled to appear?
Are they scheduled to? Oh, I have no idea.
In Parliament, I thought we heard that they were supposed to appear in Parliament for these sessions.
And they probably are. And maybe that was last week's news or something, because I do remember something about that. Yeah. We'll see.
I guess last question is, have you gotten confirmation back from your committee man about contracts for the Dong? You were looking for confirmation on that previously?
There are still contracts for the Dong.
Okay, great. That's
Now,
all I got.
I mean, he did tell us it's being used, and they've been giving it out. I don't know anybody that's gotten it, but he says they've been giving it out, but there's still contract rates, and the bank is saying there's still contract rates for the Dong.
Excellent.
All right?
Fabulous. Yep, that's all I got. Hope you guys have a great day. I'm enjoying the call, and I appreciate everything you all do.
All right,
Okay.
thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. 281 area code. You are on.
Hello, Tony, Ray. How you guys doing today?
Good morning. How are you?
To the nth degree.
I'm good. Good. I'm good. I'm working, but I'm listening. I had a couple of questions. On the rates that were flashing on the screen, Tony, I know you did mention to us that some of the rates were on administrative hold, I think, on the last call, and now that they're flashing. And I think the update that Ray gave us yesterday, they were saying that the rates may not have been the real rates, but they were, there were rates on the screen. Do you think that since they are now flashing and no longer on administrative hold, that they could possibly be exchanging some people? Because is the slow rollout still going?
I'm not hearing about anybody exchanging or any appointments. Not saying that they're not. I'm just saying I'm not hearing about them. Now, did they free that up so they could do something today because it's going back and forth? Anything's possible. I mean, Tony knows a whole lot of stuff. But that don't mean he knows everything. I mean, he may pretend like he does. But anyway, I don't know everything. And it could be happening here, there, or anywhere else. Somebody went in and they got paid today and somebody else didn't. So I can't say it's not doing it in a mass amount or where we've been made aware of it, or any of our bank people are looking on their ledgers, because that's where they look. And if they haven't seen any spikes anywhere where any location is running a lot of people through and their volume is going up. So that is not happening. It's not happening in Reno. They are not paying out SKRs or anything else like some people have put out there. That is not happening. And believe me, I'm an hour and a half from Reno. I know Bob, I've known him for years, and I know a whole lot of other people I'm going to talk to who are involved in it. And I know paymasters in Reno, and they're not paying anybody. Even though I see some of these gurus are putting that out on their site, it's not happening. So could happen. I like about it is if it's not on administrative hold and they're fluctuating back and forth, it's right where we know it was supposed to be, 443, based on their budget and the fact what they did, first dollars and then trillion. So we know that is a starting point. We just don't know how high it's going to come out that first day. And that's the only reason I think that it's flashing where we're going to start at. So it's not exact. But the low point should be 443.
And I know that we've had various rates on the dong from 47 cents up to $2 and something. Is that $2 and something more or less the contract rate area or not?
The $2 was supposed to be the contract rate area.
For the dong. Oh, okay. Mhm. All right. And my last question is, so when this thing does hit, you think the United States are just going to go ahead and let it rip over here as well? It's not going to be a delay process before we can go into the bank?
No, when it's released, it'll be released globally, and everybody will be going together.
So we shouldn't have any problems with the U.S. telling us that we have to, wait a few minutes or a few days or whatever. Okay. That's what I was wondering. I didn't know if, we would still. I was just wanting to know how soon, would it be before they tell us we could go or at least release it here, once Iraq do their thing over there. So, okay.
Well,
thank you,
Iraq always wanted, for years they wanted 72 hours, or they wanted the first 10 days, then 72 hours, and we don't know what they got. So far, they got the first 48 hours, so we do know that. I mean, just at a reinstatement, not even reevaluation. And guys, they could just reinstate it at that rate. Could be possible, but I think they're going to wait, reevaluate it, because the budget was at the 443. So that's all they're waiting for, is to get to that rate to release it. However they choose to do that.
So this 286 is you feel, in your opinion, is the reinstatement. Is that what you're thinking?
That's what I'm thinking. That's the reinstatement of Dinar in country. So they're now reinstated it, and everybody has it. Now they can go with the revaluation and go international.
Okay. I know in one of Ray's updates this morning, he did say one of the Kurdistan or something like that. I can't remember the exact quote, but they were now one of those countries was now able to fly in to back and forth, I guess, from Iraq to their...
Oh, to the UK? To the UK.
Wherever it was. Yep. I'm not looking at his update right now. But what does that mean to you as far as internationalism? Does that mean anything, or that just means that whatever...
It doesn't mean anything as far as the RV is concerned. Financially, it doesn't mean a thing. What it means is their country is growing and coming back to normal and doing normal interactions with other countries, which means it's a good thing for the people of Iraq.
Of Iraq. Yeah. Okay.
That's all it means. Life is becoming normal for them again.
Well, that's good. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate your info, and you guys have a good weekend. I'm hoping, and you're thinking that we could possibly see this over the weekend. Is that what I heard, or no? Do you not say that?
It's very possible. It could be over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Very possible.
All right. Okay.
She's reaching, Tony. She's reaching.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
She always does, huh?
Yeah, I do. But I wanted to make sure I understood what you said about when we could possibly hear it. I did hear the part about the 4th, and as far as something happening on the 4th over there, but I didn't hear all of it because I'm working.
Parliament is meeting on the 4th.
Yeah. So I didn't hear all of it. That's why I wanted to make sure I heard what I heard. All right. Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate everything you do. Can't wait for this thing to be over. We're ready. Y'all have a good day.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. You too. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Also on the birthday list for today is C.J. Pern. So I missed that one. C.J. Pern. Happy birthday to you. Next caller is area code.
You don't get no birthday song?
No, it's too late.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we leave on down the road now. 514, you on. 514 area code. 514. Okay, 303 area code.
Well, good afternoon and good morning to both of you. I hope
all
is going
sir.
well. And Tony, thanks for the heads up on Monday, and you certainly deserve to have a day like that off with your family, and as much as we appreciate you guys' time and everything. By personal experience, somebody asked the first caller today about traveling in the Middle East. I would recommend, obviously, Dubai would be a great place. The UAE is also very safe, and Jordan is relatively safe. But don't think that going to Dubai it's going to look like most of the Middle East, because it doesn't. It looks like a very, very expensively spent on country that was put up by the kingdom there, that so people would come and see things that they would go wow over. I mean, the Burj Tower is an incredible building, and those things. So just those thoughts on it. We've also talked about the time for Iraq. I want to go to Iraq myself. I've been to Bahrain and Kuwait. Kuwait's a safe place, but understand that they're obviously from our own travel, our own dealings with there on this currency exchange, we know that they do things quite differently over there. And so just for those that are going, don't expect, like a Disneyland or another version of here. It's extremely different over there. And that said, my regular questions have been answered. I thought I'd just throw that little bit of information out and wish everybody a very successful weekend.
Okay, thank you.
So you're telling us that they have no 4-star hotels in Iraq?
Oh, I'm not saying that yet, but I don't know. Maybe our current administration is going to build some. Who knows?
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
You betcha.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care. 907 area code. You are on.
Yes. Good morning from Alaska. Hey.
Okay.
Or afternoon or whatever it is. Anyway, I've got a question that concerns travel, because my daughter is in an area, Texas to be exact, and that's as far as I'll go there. But anyway, but her place of residence or her work takes her to Alaska actually over 6 months of the year. So she is actually in this area. Now, the question I've got is, she can travel from Texas to California or whatever is in the same area, but how are you going to do that? If you travel by air, you're liable to have the TSA say, hey, where did you get all this currency and so forth, and confiscate it. Or if you travel by car, which would be a little bit hard for Alaska, but in timeline and stuff, but the same thing applies. If you get pulled over by some cop in some jurisdiction, they just might say, hey, where did you get all this? And we don't think it's legit, and we're taking it. Any answers?
No, you're correct. We know it happens in both instances. It happens more on the ground than it does in the air. They have actually forms that you can fill out going through the air and declare it on the way, so they shouldn't take it because you filled out the correct forms and declared it, and that's all you really have to do in the U.S. You care as much as you want, as long as they're aware of it and where it came from. She got her receipts. I'd fly with it before I drove with it, because more instances on the ground of them taking it, and you just have to prove it later, how to get it back. And they don't care what you have. Got to go to court. I got to do this. And it's that, guy standing on the street giving you the ticket, making the decision. Am I taking it or not? And I'm just taking it. You go to court and figure out how to get it back. TSA is a little bit different. They're used to people doing that. They have the documents there, especially, larger airports. But the fact that she travels and she's there 6 months out of the year, if I was her, I just call the 800 number, explain that. She has an address there, and maybe they make her an appointment right there.
Okay. On another note, up here in Alaska, we have Wells Fargo is the biggest bank up here, and whether or not they're big enough to handle it. And so if I had to go to another part of the area, I'd have to either fly, or if I went out to Canada, for instance, driving, and I would have to take and declare it at the border or something, because they're going to want to know what I've got, And so,
okay, so somebody just texted me, and it's something that I would have done. I told several people to do all the time. You just became a multimillionaire, a billionaire, or 100,000-aire, whatever it is. You go and take whatever you have to your nearest location, cash what you can, $5,000, $10,000, whatever it is. You charter a plane where nobody's checking your luggage. Go to where you want to go to, do your transaction, and come on back. And you don't even have to worry about it. Because you now can afford private planes.
Okay, and I like
right?
When you toss out that billionaire thing, I think that's the one I want to be, but I don't think I'm going to be there. But when you said
guess what? If you can just get to the multi-millionaire part, and get there, and then make the right investments in life, you can get to the billionaire part. So you don't have to start there. This is a growing thing. But whatever anybody gets from this, we're going to watch it grow. We're going to feed it, water it, take care of it, invest it for long term, and create legacies. But in doing that, into 3D plants, IPOs, different types of companies, investments that we do together, everybody will have an opportunity to get there if that's what they're trying to do.
I hope so. I'm approaching 80 years old, so I don't know how long. No guarantees on this. I lost a spouse while we were waiting and everything else, so I guess we'll just see. Well, that's my input for today, and I appreciate that knowledge that you put forth. Appreciate both of you, and enjoy. Your Monday is your Monday, Tony, and we'll respect that. And I expect
all right, thank you, sir.
Hey.
Okay,
thank
you. And guys, on that whole TSA thing, we've had quite a few members that have traveled, myself included, back and forth with currency in our carry-ons. Never once approached anything. Did have one member that reported she had quite a bit in one of her bags, and they did look at it and wanted to do something in the back room, and she argued with them publicly, no, we'll do it right here in public where everybody else can see it. And so they went through that. But most of the folks that have flown with their currency have had no incidents with TSA or anything like that.
Well, let me tell you a fast TSA story. I'm a diabetic, and I carry insulin pens with me when I go. Okay, this last trip, I guess it was the last trip out. Anyway, at the last moment, I decided to toss in 3 more insulin pens. And I didn't really put them in real good place or anything, just in my carry-on. I got to my destination, and I never had my insulin pens. TSA had taken those and disposed of them, I guess.
Okay, but we're talking paper. You're talking medicine, so that's two different realities. And, with the foreign currency, we're just talking about paper. So I could see them doing something with your insulin. You're transporting medicines and liquids, things of that nature, and needles. We're just talking paper.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you a question, though. And it's important. There's a difference. you put it in your luggage and you checked your luggage, right? And when you got to your destination, they were gone?
It was in my carry-on.
It was in your carry-on, and you didn't see them take the pins out?
No, I didn't, because they ran the carry-on through the X-ray machine, and I was on one side of the thing, and they were on the other, and I never saw them. I never saw them do that at all. But anyway, be as it may, I appreciate your take on that.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
916 area code. You are on.
916. Uh-oh.
916.
Yes.
Hey.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Yes, we hear you now.
Good. I'm sorry, I was muted. We had a question regarding. We have the intentions to ask for the contract rate on all of our currency. Is the limit that we've heard of 20 million, is that 20 million dinar being exchanged, or exchanges resulting in $20 million U.S. dollars as being a limit for exchanging for the currency rate? I mean
that was dinar.
Contract rate. So that's dinar. Okay. And any limit on the dong? I don't recall you saying that there was.
50 million is what we were told a few years ago.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate all you do. And can't wait to see y'all again. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
740 area code.
Good afternoon and good morning. I think it's still morning in California.
Good afternoon.
Yep, good morning.
I was just calling to find out your post office box and zip code because I didn't put it down before. So I got it earlier from Mr. G-Man that claims it's a dynamite day every day. I hope he doesn't have real dynamite. I hope that's not real dynamite. But anyway, I'm sorry to hear of your loss, Tony. How many years has it been?
18 years. Seems like
Wow.
It's been 18.
That's a lot. I know what it's like to lose someone suddenly. It's devastating. And the hard part is when you want to tell them something and you know they're not there. You can't tell them. You can't call them. You can't write them. They're just not there. It makes it rough.
Okay, I'm just going to talk about this for a minute because I didn't want it to be about this. But let me tell you guys the hard part is when, it's been 18 years. She was 11 years old. The hard part is when you run into all her friends and family and people who remember and they come up to us and now they're married and now they have kids and then you just have to wonder what would life have been.
Exactly.
That's the hard part. And it gets more like that every year, every day. And they continue to tell stories about her and leave messages. That's the hard part we live with. But I didn't want this call to be about that. I just wanted you guys to know why we weren't going to be here on Monday. Okay.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, hopefully you'll see her again in the next life. But anyway, thank you for your help.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 765. Yeah. 765, area code. 765. Okay. Don't know what happened to 765. They took a dive. 214. Squeeze you in.
Hello, how are you guys today?
I am fantabulous.
I am too. My first question is, of course, about the Zim dollar. I'm reading articles that South Africa and I guess the last bank that they're able to purchase U.S. dollars is not allowing them to purchase them because of sanctions, which kind of confuses me because they've had sanctions for many years. Do you feel that this is something to push them to bring back the Zim dollar or the Rand?
You really interested in Zim, huh?
Huh?
I said, you're really interested in the Zim, huh?
Well, it's really for my mother because if it doesn't go, she's going to just pass out. She can't handle it. That's all she has that my sister has given her, and trying to tell her, don't worry about it, we got you. But, you know, she's holding that. So these are questions so that I can go back and talk to her.
You guys really should give her something else to hold, just in case.
Okay, Ray, now she listens to this. Be quiet.
All right. So a couple of things in Zimbabwe. They're trying to get them to use their own currency. So they're trying to stop using the dollar, even though they want to value it at the dollar. Is the first thing they're doing, so they can bring back this new currency and make it worth something. So this bank probably shouldn't have been giving them any at the whole time, but if every other bank was giving them to them, it wouldn't matter. So you said this is the last bank.
This is the last bank that they were able to purchase the U.S. dollar from, and as of last December, their contract no longer, or they have come to them because Deutsche Bank purchased that particular entity, and they're not going to go against the sanctions because they don't know who is actually being able to, is part of that dollar. It could be part of the sanction purchasing. So,
okay, but your question was, are they doing this to give the Zimbabwe or their new currency value? What was your question? We can't hear you if you're talking. I can't hear you anyway.
Me either.
Ray, can you hear me? Huh?
No, I don't hear her.
Okay, well, I don't know what happened there.
214, you gone? Okay. Yeah, they dropped. All right, it's time to wrap up and go. So we'll just get closing comments from you, sir.
All right, guys. You already know the rates are flashing. The rate has definitely changed throughout Iraq, changed in the Kurdistan region. It is now changed in Baghdad. They are changing the prices in the marketplace, which means it is a live rate in Iraq. So we're next. I don't know how long they have to leave it at this reinstated rate. Probably something we need to look into before they do the RV rate and go international. The banks are still anticipating something this weekend, so all we can do is see what happens. But we know we're that much closer to this being over. So be excited, but more importantly, go buy some more Dong. Get you another $500,000 today is what I would do for $47. So it's up to you. All right, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day and weekend. You do the same. If something happens, we'll be back. If it doesn't, we're probably not going to talk to you until Wednesday. So definitely will not be here on Monday for reasons stated. All right, enjoy your weekend. Ready?
Okay. What's left to say? Nothing. It's Friday. Let's enjoy our Friday. Get going with the weekend. You've heard what is in motion, what is in place. This train is definitely coming to a stop, and then some of us are going to get on it again and take the next ride. So until then, keep believing.